about this much or so, just about what you can see on the page. Everyone ready to play this? So I'm going to try to help show you that. Ready? So what I just did there was make the dead beats or the neutral pattern in the two, or in the, sorry, in the three. I made the neutral pattern way small, right? So I could put extra emphasis on this. Let's try it again. Let's see if we can change something. If I don't have that type of energy. Again, ready? Soprano part. One on the E. Second. La 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 la. We play the soprano part. Oh, sorry. Again. Strong, it's fortissimo. Ready? What was different that time? Yeah.
The first downbeat was bigger than the second.
Good. So that's something. What else was different? Something else happened to your notes. You're just listening. Ready? Just play what you see. What? Yeah. Did you hear that? It went bam. They were still strong, but they were organized to the back half. Try that again. I'm going to just mess around so you get a lot of video. Ready? That's you guys not knowing your parts well. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Do you see the change? Do you see how much you can affect without even rehearsing? Let's muck around even more. Ready? You can do all those things, right? Many of you need to learn the music. Next piece. type of practice you need to do before you even get into the music? Right? Your journal entries. It said you were going to commit to that, and I've got to see that. There's no way you can get it. There's no way you can pass the last exam if you lie to yourself. There's no way any of you are going to pass the last exam if you've been lying to yourself in this class. Good. Let's take a look at Charlotte Kent. And I want you to hear some things. I'm going to borrow a score here. Do you hear music? So we talked about some expressive things and how we might go about them. Let's work on the first couple phrases and just hear what those things might sound like differently. So let's just investigate the first four measures and hear a couple things. Ready? First four measures. And where we can put our focus and how that might change things. See if I can change something with my gesture. What happened differently that time and the second time? And Steve, what did you see? Caitlin, what did you see? Any of you? Anybody?
Instead of the arrival being on 3 in the second measure, ended up being the downbeat of 3.
Downbeat.
The third measure, sorry.
So I changed the high point from beat 3 to measure 3. Did you see that? Grant, did you have something to add?
Oh, I was going to say, I felt like you brought out like the suspension on B3.
So, okay, so I went to 3 the first time, but I retracted from 3. Caitlin, did you have something to add to that?
Well, I mean, it was just a few arrival points were different, and then the stress on different intervals and.
Good. Good. Yeah, Billy?
I felt like the second time the moving voices were leading through the climax that you were giving us rather than the sustain.
Good, so let's listen to a couple of those versions again. Okay, first one is going to, well, I'll just try to show you. So you have to just react. Ready? So that's again another version where 3 is the climax, 4 relaxes, 1 is weak. That's a version where we push through the appositor, the suspension, and go to 1. Let's try maybe even just a different one, right? That's one where we truncated 3, 4, and we put 1 at the pinnacle. Let's try one more. I think there might be one more option. Thanks for your patience. I don't know what's this. That's one where we put it on 4. they're all a little bit different. They're all a little bit different. And that's just 2 bars. Let's experiment now with what that might feel like in a more global manner. Okay, bless you. Let's try it. Beginning, we're going to go 8 measures this time. You guys get to just hang out and watch, but use your ears and think. So here's one option. I just put the arrival on bar 3, so I threw the suspension into 3, and then I put it in bar 7 as well. I just mirrored them and I tried to make bar 7 bigger. So the first phrase, this, and then the second phrase even bigger. Let's try something else. Let's see, that might be just a basic organic way to do it. Let's see if we can change it around. None of these are right. Some I think sound better than others. But you make the decision. Let's try something else. Just see how it affects things. Ready?
You pulled back the time on the suspension in the 6 bar going to 7.
So I definitely pulled that back 6 bar going to 7. I did a little bit of that in the third or the second measure as well. What about maybe the global contour? I did something that I felt was very different. Yeah, Caitlin, did you pick up?
The first phrase was bigger than the second phrase.
Okay, maybe that might have just been something that I did the wrong way. But I tried to do something that was different that time. Yeah, Billy?
There was a resurgence at the end, instead of fading out, as would be typical, I think, for all of us.
If I just press pause maybe on our conversation for a second, and if I go back, the first time I did it, I tried to go through the suspensions to the 3rd measure, through the suspensions to the 7th measure, so I created contour over 4 bars. This time, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try to do exactly the same. They're very close. I want you to feel what the difference is. So let's do this. Let's do it back to back, both ways. Let's do the larger 4-bar phrases, just so you can see that again. And then I'm going to do it what I think I just did. Ready? Fairly close to a 4-bar up and down where 3 in the middle is the peak. Yep.
Instead of leading through the suspensions, you backed on there.
Still, the phrases, I think if you go back and watch the video, have an up for 2, get to the 3rd measure, and then back off. Globally. Let me show you the other way I was trying to do it. Notice how different it sounds. Ready? diametrically opposite.
They're two bar phrases.
Yeah, so I'm doing 2 bar phrases. Do you hear the difference? What does that do for you? I mean, this is part of this is part of us just experimenting with score study and how that feels better. What do they feel like when they're different? What does the first one feel like versus the second one? You might want to just pause the video and go back and listen, and then go back and hear our conversation. Billy, you got something to say?
I would think of it as like an A, B, A prime, B
Okay.
form.
Okay. What is it? Yeah, just talk about your feelings, Steve. Oh, Caitlin, I'm sorry, you're next.
The first one felt more linear. The second one felt like stopping and pausing. Yeah.
I would agree. You feel that maybe other people share that reaction?
Yes.
It's almost like too much
Yeah.
in this beautiful, like, think of children singing. Yeah.
I may be saying the same thing, but with the 4 bar phrases, it feels like there's not a whole lot going on, but with the 2 bar phrases, it feels like there was a lot more freedom in your conducting. And so
I think you're saying the opposite.
I'm saying the opposite.
Your other half nodded.
It's the opposite of
Okay.
Well, that's interesting. My person, yeah, Austin.
I guess it's kind of the same thing that you were saying just a couple minutes ago about how it was like a lot more raspy. The first one, it was kind of like a gentle breathing in, kind of like, you know, you're just kind of like meditating or something like that, you know, and I'm in concert band, so I know what he's trying to put to this piece, that it's a child trying to go to sleep. So I can imagine, you know, a child laying in bed, gently breathing in, and then releasing that towards the ends of each phrase. But when you're doing it the second way, where it's the 2 bar phrases, it sounds a lot quicker, like it's too fast of a
There's
breath.
so much up and down that it almost sounds tortured or labored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Billy, did you have something to add, or Jordan, did you have something to add?
I did. I liked the 2 bar phrases personally. I thought it was more reflective, whereas the 4 bar phrases sounded like maybe a child going to sleep, but maybe a 2 bar phrase sounds like someone reflecting on their
You want to know the
childhood.
best part? I think both could be musical. Let's try the 2 bar phrase. Let's see if we can do something with it. So if we do the 2 bar phrase, what we might need to do then is pace the contour of every peak to work with harmony, like when we get to the G flat-ish, about measure 6, measure 7, so that when we get there, that the chromaticism at its highest then relaxes. Let's just see what that's like. Can we try that, please? Good, good. Is this, how are we doing on time? So what do we have?
I don't know.
10:48.
10:40, yeah.
I do think you did some of what we're about to do in the 4 bar phrasing, though.
Maybe naturally some of that actually
Yeah.
happened. Yeah, you're probably right inherently. So I've done this piece a number of times, so I'm probably, I have my own, sometimes I just fight against it. Let's see if I can do a different version, or a melding of both. That's good, Caitlin. Good, ready? What do you think about that? So we took 2 ideas, a 4 bar, and then we took a 2 bar that was just more up and down. We were trying to take diametric, just generic things, and add them to work.
I could feel more direction with that. I could see where phrases were going, and with the more.
Well, let's make sure, because I feel like that's generic.
I'm trying
I
to
think
think of a way.
every-
I'm trying to think of a way to. break it down right
Let me
now.
just help you out.
Okay.
I think I have a good idea to help you out. I know exactly what you're trying to say.
Okay.
There was direction in every phrase, right? In both ways. I don't know if there was more there. What was there more of?
Phrase.
Well, variance, right? There was more, just a little here, a little bit more into measure 4, a little bit more, all the way. So we almost did like up, a little bit more, and then a 4 bar through, and then back to way. Can you hear the difference of that? You start to sense how, so this is something that when you're doing your score study, like, it adds a lot of possibility to the music. I don't know, that one probably, to me, feels maybe the best. What do you guys might disagree.
Oh,
I think it does, it gives the right amount of tension in the second part to the suspension.
Yeah,
I think.
it's just a little there, and it puts more focus by doing the up, two, down, or the up, down, up a little bit more down, then the longer build, triplet, but then passing it off to the chromaticism. You get an even maybe a bigger satisfaction from when that flat 6 goes to 5, and then cadence is back home.
it sounded like good music.
Oh, well, okay, good. So let's do this. Let's experiment with something else that might be just helpful in your score. So can we just hear like the bass part and the lower tenor part? So why don't we just have all the tenors just play the bottom part? This has a harmonic rhythm that moves in half notes. So we can experience this. Ready? I'm just gonna try to do it like we were doing. That's probably all we need to do. And do you hear how it, well, moves in bad parallel fifths, complicated for a little while. What do you hear? What do you hear in that harmonic motion? Well, the first phrase really is quite stable as it ascends in those parallels. First two measures. The first microphrase is very stable. Second microphrase is very stable, right? So maybe that is a good argument for us to do up 2, down 2, and then just a little bit more, because the second phrase of the tenor bass voice then has the quarter, quarter, half, right? So there's a little bit more energy in measure 4. And then we start going in a different direction, and that's when this little thing changes here. We have that sharp 4, but they keep going. It doesn't go back up to 5, right? It keeps on going downward, and then this is maybe the most unsuspected, this flat 6. So listen to that one more time. Just how this might affect your score study, and this might be the best argument for us to do what we're trying to do. Right? Thank you guys for your patience. So, parallel, fairly stable, just ascending, little shape with the line. Just support that suspension. Now maybe just a little bit more because we have these quarter notes coming up, right? So there's just something a little bit different. Now here's where the chromaticism starts. So maybe this isn't an argument for a longer 4-bar phrase because it's manifested right here on the resolution. Do you hear how that works? So your harmonic analysis too, as you're writing in the Roman numerals, can help affect all of this. Let's do it one more time, and you have now a chance to pin your ears. Let's play onward. Let's play onward, and let's just muck around with some things. Good. Doesn't mean it's right, it just means it's a way. But searching out the questions towards best possible can really yield awesome results. Beginning everyone, so we'll play onward. It just goes through a simple cadence, right? flat, where it should go to G, goes back up to B flat. So do you look at that? And then we don't get the G until, so can I hear just the tenor and bass voices? Just listen to how this works. Can somebody give me like a 2-minute warning? Thank you. Ready? Just listen to the bass voices and the tenor voices at 9. How this develops. So this is ostinato, energy. You hear that? It's right there. And it should go but it doesn't. It goes back up. Well, that's interesting. So the flat 7 goes back up. So that might be the most interesting thing in this whole little development. Let's try that. Let's see if we can shape that. Ready? So this might be then where I want to direct my attention to keep movement happening. Can we hear with all the voices right there? 9. 9. Then this changes. And a new voice comes in. Next voice kind of does the same thing. Now it goes differently. See how the study of harmony also can inflect even a greater sense of musicianship in that? Not just looking. It would be really easy to get buried in neen or 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 neen, which is really quite boring when the interest goes over here. That last measure, the fourth measure of this little interlude, when the upper tenor part changes, and then we have the melody, but the bass voice is still giving us interest, right? This might just be nice, beautiful, and legato. Kind of that kid is actually singing now, or they're in their dreamlight state. And then at 17, we have this little tenor interlude. Can we just try it one more time? We have just a minute. Thank you. Just so you can hear it and see what maybe some possibilities are. Here we go. So maybe you can add more contour even to the end of that. We just did more there now. And this might just be nice and high. Still bass phrase. And maybe even more of this. We start to look at 18, when the G flat introduces itself again at 18, that's really from the introduction, right? Bar 6 into 7. So that can help, that might be where you put your attention. So in your score studying, it's not just the black and white, but then it's making those decisions with them. And that's really what we're trying to do with this last one. That's why we're doing just 2 pieces. Is that helpful in you hearing and seeing things? You don't have to do it my way. But this is maybe a good laboratory for seeing how these things can help with there. Very good, very good. So you have the click track to help you out. The next thing then is to figure out all the mechanics of that and the spirit. I mean, that's like a drinking tune, by the way. So it's not anger like angry, it's energetic, the Orff. And then this one is really has wonderful opportunities for you to dive in and do some deep expression. Not just scream level, everybody get louder, but bring that out, bring that out. Makes a big difference. You can do that. That's where we're going. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you.